he went to the Super Bowl last year. He's been in several UFC fights. He was in NBA Finals Game 3. Now he's attending the World Cup. And the reality is he's just a big sports fan. And I think that these TV products and these shows and that you call them, these sporting events, they draw a large audience. You put President Trump on the screen, I think nobody likes that more than him. And it brings a spectacle, so it is what it is.
I know you have a lot of news stories to talk about, but I'm just curious what it feels like when you watch and you know the president is there. Maybe not personally, but like, is security tighter? Like, what is it on the ground?
Oh, yes. It makes getting into whatever stadium, outside of the UFC. The UFC events, he comes in for the main card for the most of the time, and so by that point in time, everybody's in their seats. But for the Super Bowl, for the NBA Finals, for, I imagine, the World Cup, it's going to be a madhouse, and it just means that there's Secret Service everywhere. There's people with, that are armed everywhere, and it just creates very long lines, very, very long lines that I feel is a bit unnecessary.
Right, and everyone just has to kind of wade through it and kind of wait it out.
Exactly.
Okay, so there's a story here where you guys put out a weekly newsletter, and the headline is FIFA, not Argentina or Spain, who are, of course, playing for the final, is the real winner from this World Cup. FIFA really called the shots on this World Cup, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, and I think that I would consider them a big winner too. Like there are a lot of critiques about FIFA and how they ran this tournament, whether it be the public transit, whether it be the ticket prices, but how much of that has actually been a discussion over the last 6 weeks? There hasn't really been a lot of controversy outside of President Trump asking them to review Flo Balogun's red card, Flo Balogun playing, and then Belgium putting belt to the USA's behind on the pitch. And so outside of that, the matches have not been all that controversial. There's VARs and those conversations. But if you ask every single sporting organization, what type of controversy do you want? You want it to be on the field.
Right.
You don't want it to be off the field. And so FIFA's a big winner of that, and they're going to make a boatload of money.
And you also had this great scoop of Yankees saying to be in talks for $3 billion in financing with Apollo. Talk to us more about the significance of that. I would just ask Scarlett off air, why would they do that? And she said diversified returns.
Yeah, I think that if you're Apollo, it's the Yankees. Like, who does not want to be in business with the Yankees?
It's a meeting of the Titans.
Right. And I think that the $3 billion, as we reported, is going to go towards debt. They'll receive some equity. What that looks like, I'm not so sure yet, but that's a lot of money. And I think the MLB's cap for private equity is 15%. So whether it be, $2.5 billion in private equity dollars or $3 billion or $2 billion, it doesn't really matter. That's a lot of money in terms of total valuation of the Yankees business.
Well, how much is the Yankees business worth?
We'll find out when it closes.
I would Is it the most valuable franchise in the world?
In
Sports
the MLB,
franchise?
I'd say. I think the Cowboys have held the top rank for most valuable franchise in the world. I think the Rams are in there. The Lakers should be in the Warriors. And then it's the Yankees are undoubtedly the baseball team that is in the mix.
As long as we're ahead of the Red Sox, I'm happy.
There's a big gap between the Yankees and the Red Sox in terms of valuation.
And this is the biggest investment Apollo would have made in the U.S. sports to date if it goes through. Why now, though? I mean, you said, Scarlett said it's a meeting of the Titans. So, I mean, why didn't they do this last year or 2 years ago?
I think that it has to make sense, the timing of it all. And I think that the Yankees, as we've reported, there's some debt in there. And I think if you go to a private equity firm, the Yankees print money. Like they have so many games. You think of outside of the games themselves, Jay-Z just had 3 nights of sold-out dates there and concerts. They have NYCFC matches there. They have a lot of different outlets to generate dollars. And so even if Apollo is giving this money, the Yankees and Apollo are inevitably going to make it back in a short amount of time, whether that be 18 months, 2 years, 3 years. They're both going to get a return on investment unless there's a lockout.
Okay, dumb question here. With all this institutional money, private equity money, can Apollo ever get to a point where it starts calling some of the shots on the field?
I don't think that we will live long enough to see that. And the reason, all of these structures for private equity do not allow private equity firms to have controlling ownership, at least in U.S. sporting teams. And the reason for that is because it's the same fear that everybody has with private equity, that they will come in, they will extract dollars, they'll cut star players, they'll make business decisions that aren't fan-driven.
But they're very impressed with their own ability to operate businesses. I feel like at some point it seems inevitable that they're going to want to have a say.
I think that it's more likely that there are some sports franchises that go public before handing over. Now, I think that the limit will definitely increase, but Taking over, I don't know about that.
All right, Randall, you are wearing light blue and white. What does that say about what you think is going to happen Sunday?
I'll say Lionel Messi is my favorite player, but I'm rooting for the best match possible. So let's just do a repeat of last time.